Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Lady Diane from the support team. I'm really glad that you were able to join our fourth webinar. And this is Maximizing Your Driver's Efficiency with Enlite Routes Part 2. This is actually a continuation of Danny's presentation. This includes a 35-minute presentation with a 20-minute of question and answer. So here you can ask any questions you have on the chat window that shows question here. This is for us to ensure that we will be able to access it and discuss it with you. This session will also be recorded for future reference. And if there will be unanswered questions, rest assured that we will be replying to it over email. What we will cover today is actually an in-depth view at Enlite Routes Functionality Part 2. This will be from the most commonly used settings to the very specific optimization. Stop filters that will avoid unnecessary stops and optimize drivers' time and effort. Invoice filters that allows your driver to work with the most updated list of stops. Customer notifications to connect with your customers every step of the way. Hardware options for a high-end service. And troubleshooting and setup options. You will also see later on screen views across the app that will give you insight into all the capabilities the app offers at every step of the way. Custom preferences to reduce space for error during your pickup and delivery process. Alright, so let's get started. As you can see on your screen, this is actually an overview of what we will be discussing for the entire presentation. So the first one includes here the stop filters and invoice filters. Second is for the customer notifications. And lastly, it's the hardware and troubleshooting options. Stop filters. There are actually three ways on how we will be able to set this up. First will be group stops. Second is remove empty stops, which includes customers with no invoices on the route. And third is remove invalid stops. This is for customers with bad addresses. The purpose of this setting is to avoid unnecessary stops and optimize drivers' time and effort. Group stops. This setting is for stores that has many customers with the same address or master account. So as you can see here, we can group it as to child accounts or as to common addresses, depending on what do you prefer. Second is to remove empty stops. This is for the customers with no invoices. Now, with this setting, the driver will only see stops that has one or more open invoices. Stops with zero invoices will be hidden. However, regular stops will still show even if they have zero invoices. Now, as you can see on your screen on the right side, there's a picture. There are also numbers on the left, and the numbers on the left side, which is at the bottom part, indicate the number of invoices. There are no zeros from there. However, there are instances that we have those customers who wants to be visited even if they don't have an invoice. So if they were added as a regular stop, all right, then we will be seeing here as zero invoice, and that's only for regular stops. Remove bad address. When enabled, the route won't add customers whose stops has no address or the app doesn't recognize them. Though if it's disabled, stops with wrong addresses will be seen in red and will give you a message on top of the screen. So as the picture shows on the right, if you will notice, the top message or the top error message there shows not all coordinates have been found. And the customer's name is actually in red font. That indicates that that particular customer has a bad address. Alright, so here I just would like to show you how it looks like or how is it different if the setting is enabled and disabled. So at the center of your screen, you will see there the two settings, all right, which shows remove empty stops and remove invalid stops. On the left side, you will see there that the customer or the route has actually 51 stops. All right, that is because the setting is disabled. But if we enable the setting, take a look at the right side. It was now down to one stop. So as you can see there, it really minimizes your driver's effort and time in terms of the delivery process. Next will be the invoice filters. The purpose of this setting is actually to allow the driver to work with the most updated list of stops. So as you can see there, we do have different invoices wherein it shows invoices due today, invoices past due, racked invoices, paid invoices as well. All right, let's take it one by one for the invoices. Invoices due today. Enabling this filter, the drivers won't be able to see invoices due another time other than today. Includes past due. This is actually when enabled, will let the driver see the invoices that are past due. Racked invoices, if it's enabled, then the drivers will only see invoices that were racked on the system. And paid invoices, of course, this will hide unpaid invoices on the route.
All right. Now, since we are already done with the stop filters and the invoice filters, let me show you how it looks like with our emulator that serves as the driver app. So for this one, this will be the screen that will show once that you have the driver app open. If we go to the settings, let's look for the stop filters. So let's say for the group stops, I'm gonna make it as child accounts. Let me hit done. And we will also be removing empty stops, those with no invoices, and those with bad addresses. And then let's go back, open a route there. So as you can see here on the default route, this is exactly what it looks like for those customers with master account and child accounts. This symbol actually indicates that for the child accounts filter, right? And then as you also can see here, there are no zero invoices. And I just would like also to mention, since we're already talking about the filter for removing those zero invoices, right? As okay, if you can see this particular icon here beside Peri Brita, this actually indicates a regular stop. So that means, as I've mentioned a while back, if it's a regular stop, even if it has a zero invoice, it will still show on the route. But on this case, Peri Brita is under the regular stop, all right? But it has, or she has, two invoices, so that's gonna be okay. All right. So and then if we go back to the settings, let's say I'm gonna turn this one and let's go to invoice filters. Okay, so under invoice filters, let's say we would like to see invoices due today and invoices past due. All right. So for invoices due today and invoices past due. Okay, let's open Peri Brita. All right, so there, as you can see there is an invoice here that shows picked up. That's April 2 and March 23rd. Take a look at this one. Take a look at the details of the order. All right, so there. The due date for this order, it's actually April 4. So as you can see, this is considered past due. But since we include the past due under our settings, that's the reason why it shows. It also shows here that this is an unpaid order. Picked up and an unpaid order. So let's close this. Go back to customers. Okay, so let's continue with our invoice filters here. So let's go back to the settings, of course. You've already seen the group stops, removing empty stops and removing invalid stops. Now, you've also seen invoices due today and invoices past due. Let's add one, which is racked invoices. So I'm going to activate that. And let's go back to the route. Okay, so there, as you can see, there's only one customer which wherein the orders were racked, and that's Perry Brita. Now, if we open this customer, open the invoice from here, take a look at the detail. So there are two items to date. So there you go. So that's going to be the details for this order that is already racked. Okay, now let's proceed after the racked invoices. Let me show you now paid invoices alone. So I'm gonna remove the other ones that shows invoices due today, rack invoices. Let's say paid invoices. Then let's go back to the route. Okay, so there for paid invoices, it will now show two. One is Perry Brita and one is Barnes Troy. Let's take a look at Perry Brita once again. So for the invoice from Perry Brita, the details is actually showing here and it shows paid. And that's the one. All right. It shows the total amount, of course, and the date that it's paid on. Now, since we're talking about paid orders, I would also like you to take a look at Barnes Troy, because for Barnes Troy, that's gonna be a different thing. As we all know, paid invoices as detected by the system, those are orders with $0. Now, if we will take a look at this one, it has 0 pieces and it's only booked. So it's not picked up yet, and the order is actually not detailed yet. And that's the reason why, even if this is not paid yet, it shows booked. The reason why it's showing under paid orders or paid invoices, it's because it's $0. Meaning, if the order is showing booked as the status and it shows the $0 for the amount, that means that this particular order or invoice is actually not detailed yet. That's why it's showing here. Again, if we filter it or enable the paid invoices, it will also shows it will also show those orders that shows $0. Okay, so that's it for the paid invoices.
Let's now proceed with customer notifications. Here, there is an option for us to send notification. It gives us the option to choose when will the customer receive the notification. And of course, when enabled, customers will receive a notification on the following instances. So we have route will be serviced, driver and route, order delivered, and order picked up. Now, as you can see on the right side of your screen, we have here a screenshot on how it looks like. So if you enable sending notifications options, it will now give you an option wherein it shows during or after. So meaning you can send it during the following instances as shown below, all right, or after. Now, I just would like to make it clear, if we choose after will only be applicable to an instance wherein the notification will be sent out after the order is delivered and after the order is picked up. So those are the only two wherein after will be applicable. Hardware. The purpose of this setting is actually for a very high-end service. Now, in terms of hardware, we actually do have two types. First will be the barcode scanner, and second is the Bluetooth printer. Let's first discuss with the barcode scanner. Barcode scanner. This can be a camera or a barcode scanner connected via Bluetooth. So if you do have those options, then you can actually choose whether you like the camera or whether you like to connect a Bluetooth scanner. Or yeah, a Bluetooth barcode scanner. And for Bluetooth printer, the app can send printouts to a Bluetooth printer. It needs to be paired up with a device. So as you can see there, we don't have a Bluetooth printer connected. That's why it shows none. But if in any case there is, and it's already connected to the Bluetooth, then the device will actually show there and it will give you an option to select it. Troubleshooting and setup options. So first one will be enabled event logging. This setting is enabled if actually there is an issue, and it helps our development team to see the root cause of the issue by facilitating access to the logs. Next is enabled connectivity monitor. This is actually essential in checking connectivity issues to Wi-Fi or GPS. Now here, white or gray indicates connection, while red indicates an issue with the connection. So as you can see there, if you will notice, alright, if it's red, meaning you are having GPS issues. But if it's white or if it's gray, that indicates a good connection. Screen views across the Enlite routes. So here we do have different screen views that we would like to show you on the next slide. All right. So just an overview. We have different screen views such as route list, routes views, customer view, invoice view, select invoices screen, on route view, one stop view, and of course the stop view. After we have discussed those screen views, I would like also to share about custom preferences to reduce space for error. So in here we have a setting wherein we can hide select all and we can hide select one. Valid delivery distance as well, alright, and force picture and delivery.
And now, let me show you the different screen views across Enlite routes that we have. Let's start with the routes list. As you can see on the screen, this is actually the routes list, which includes all the routes for a particular store. And if we hit on a certain route, it will now give us an option to go to the routes view. The routes view basically includes the number of stops, the number of invoices, the time and day that the route is operational, and of course the customers included on that particular route. Now if we hit one of the customer, it will now give us the customer view. Basically, the customer view is more on the customer's information, such as their address, their phone number if there is, their email, and of course the invoices included. Now, if we hit on the invoice number, that gives us an option to see the details of the order, which is now considered the invoice view. So on the invoice view, you can see here the status of the order, the number of the items, when was it created, the due date, when was it paid, and of course, the item included on that particular invoice. Also, once that we click open, it will now give us the select invoices screen. Now with the select invoices screen, this is actually where you can choose the invoices that you would like to have on the route, right? You can choose one by one, or you can definitely just select all. Now, this select all option, by the way, can be hidden as well if you would like to, depending on how comfortable you are using this on the driver's app. So let's say I'm going to select all the invoices from this particular route and I'm going to hit on start. So once that I hit on start, it will now route me to the on route view. Okay. And on the on route view, I just would like to let you know as well that there are two types for the on route view. We have the list view that you can see right now, wherein you can just click on arrived, or we can also go to the map view. The map view basically will give us the picture of the map, all right? And of course, it will give us a progress later on as we go along delivering the item. So let's say if we also click on this particular icon, which is a check mark on the bottom right side of your screen, you'll be able now to see the stop view. So this is considered the stop view. So it has also the information of the customer, the order status, and there is now an option for us to mark it as delivered. So let's say I'm marking this item or invoice as delivered and I hit on done. Okay, it will now give you the total amount as well. So all you need to do is to click OK. Okay. Now I'm going to the list view just to show you exactly how the one time stop view looks like. So on this part beside the search, you will see here an icon wherein it's used to add a one-time stop customer. So let's say I'm going to click this and I'm now going to enter a name of a customer. This is an example for us to see, all right? It's now giving me an option to add as a one-time stop or add an invoice. So basically anything between these two, you can actually choose to add a one-time stop customer. Okay. So I'm going to use this one-time stop. Once that I hit one-time stop, it will now let you see the customer on the route. So let's continue with our route. So I'm going to click on arrive and mark these invoices as arrive. Okay. Going to continue and hit on done. Now, let's say you're already done with the route, you don't want to continue anymore. All you have to do is to finish the route. Okay, so you can click here. You can pause if you would like to, or just simply end the route. So I'm ending the route from here, and it will give me a prompt. Are you sure you would like to end delivery? All you need to do is to say yes, and that ends your route. That will also update the customer list on the route. And lastly, I would also like to show the custom preferences to reduce space for error, wherein we have hidden here the select all option and the select one option, and we have put in the valid delivery distance to 500 meters. So let's check our emulator and let me show you how it works for these three. If I go to a certain route and open it, it will give me the select invoices screen. And as you will notice, the select all option is no longer available beside the start button. That's one. And another thing here is that the selecting of invoices one by one is no longer showing. That means it's now prompting you to scan the invoice. So if I click here, it will prompt me to scan an invoice. Let's say I scan it. I'll just hit on it and put a check mark. Okay, so same as for Barnes Troy, it's gonna be the same. You have to scan the invoice from there to get this invoice as checked and included on the route. So I'm gonna start the route and I'll try to go to delivering the item. So as we are going to arrive, click on arrive. Normally, for the previous slides and the previous presentation that I've got, it will now get us to the stop view if we click on arrive. But on this part, because we have the valid delivery distance enabled up to 500 meters, it will actually not show us the stop view. Instead, it will give us an error that it's too far from the destination. So meaning it's beyond the 500 meters that we set up, so it's not gonna work. Again, with the valid delivery distance set up to 500 meters, it didn't work because this particular stop is actually more than the 500 meters that we set up. Now, let's say I'm going to end the route for now, and let's say I have removed the valid delivery distance and I have activated the forced delivery and forced picture. So let's see how it looks like with the emulator from here, okay? So we're going to the default route and we're gonna hit on open still. But of course, all right, hit on open and we're gonna start the route since we do have their invoices already. I'm gonna put in there as well. Hit on continue, all right? And here, so if we will be clicking arrive, right? Oh, I'm afraid we have still to refresh it. So let me go back and the route and just make sure everything is refreshed. All right. Now you have seen how it works with the valid delivery distance up to 500 meters activated. Let's say I have removed that one and I get the first delivery and force picture activated on this one. So I'm going to open the route, start the route as well, and hit on continue. And if I get on to click on arrive, right, as you can see there, Peribrita doesn't have an invoice. So let's look for another one. I'm going to cancel this. And it's Shirley. Okay, going to click on arrive. And as we can see here, if we click on done, it will show there all invoices require photo and all invoices have not been marked. So that means you cannot get out of this page without marking this particular invoices. All right. So there you have to scan the invoice here as well. Scan the invoice from here. So let's say I'm going to scan it, right? And add it from here as well. Okay, sorry. Scan it. So I'm going to scan it. Add then, okay. Then click on the check mark. So it's scanned. However, even if you click on done, it will still require you for a photo. So that's it. This is actually how the forced delivery and forced picture will work. All right, so there you go, everyone. Thank you so much. That's everything that I would like to discuss with our part two for maximizing your driver's efficiency. All right, in terms of the delivery process. So we can now proceed, of course, with our question and answer portion. All right. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us today with our fourth webinar. I'm really glad that you were able to join. I would also like to introduce Vale here from our sales marketing team who will help us with our question and answer portion.
Hi, lady. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have a lot of questions. So I'm going to start with the first question. This one's asked several times, and it is, why are your customers showing those colored dots?
All right. Well, thank you so much for that particular question. Actually, this is a new feature from Enlite. This color dots that you can see from here, and we were actually not able to include this on our presentation because we're not sure before if it's gonna be ready by today. So these are actually called the stop colors. So we have the stop colors to get a better visual of the route, and this also categorizes stops according to what you would like to show the driver. So it can be It can be categorized by the address, city, or in any way that we identify customers in a specific way. So I also would like to show you that this can be seen on the driver app. As you can see here, this is the driver app that we do have. And this can also be seen on their mobile orders in the POS. So let me show it. There you go. As you can see there, we also have there the stop colors. And aside from that, we can also see them on the route section in the back office. So I'll go to the back office and I'll go to the routes. So let's say we'll go to the default route here. It's going to show you the different stop colors, right? Aside from that as well, your driver can also change these colors depending on how they would like it to be. So for example, we go to this particular customer. We just simply go to their profile and scroll down. You can change it from here. So you can simply enter like a specific color and hit on save. And once that you hit and save, it should actually reflect right away. So let's go back there. It was now changed to the green color.
Okay, thank you, lady. That was a great feature. The second question we have is, I want to scan the customer tag. Can I do that?
Right. Yeah, definitely for customers tag, we can definitely scan those, all right? So our scanners here can deal with invoices and name tags in order to prepare for the route or load the van. So I also would like to make sure, because this is very important, we also have to consider that if you scan a name tag and it has different invoices, all right, all invoices on that name tag will automatically be checked.
Okay. Okay, our third question is, what is the include billing customers for? I've tried using it, but it doesn't work as I thought it would.
Yeah, exactly. That is a good catch in terms of the billing customer settings, like include billing customers, right? So on this part, we have include billing customers. As of the moment, actually, it's not functional yet. But just to make sure that we have a background of what is this setting all about, includes billing customers here works in coordination with paid invoices. So as you can see here, if you did not or if we don't enable paid invoices, we don't have an option to enable this setting as well. So we have to enable paid invoices as well before we can enable the include billing customers. So as soon as we enable paid invoices, we all know that this will hide unpaid invoices, right? So now, for all our billing customers, we all know that we all only bill them once a month. So most of them actually has unpaid invoices. Now, if in any case that you would like to show those billing customers on your route, of course, we have to include this. Click and enable include billing customers and enable paid invoices. That way, even if they have unpaid invoices, then they will be able to see them on the route. So again, as of the moment, this setting is not functional, but we are already on the last part of working with the setting. So it will be probably be ready with our next release.
Perfect. Thank you, lady. The next question is, can we have custom messages for the automated notifications sent to customers?
Mhm. All right, good question. For the custom messages, recently we cannot customize the existing notifications. However, we can definitely include customized signatures. All right, we can use the long version of signatures for email and the short ones for SMS.
Thank you. Our next question is, you didn't explain the version number and the hardware IT. What are those for? Why do we need them?
All right. Yeah. That is actually a good question as well, Valley, because here, as we can see on the bottom part of the setting, we also include the hardware ID and the version number. Now, for the hardware ID on your device, it's actually a piece of information we will request in case you want to set up a Bluetooth printer, while the version number will actually let us see if you have the correct and updated app to show all updates available. So this is actually very important in case of reporting issues with the app. So it's very ideal as well that whenever you report an issue with the app, you can already include the version number. In that way, we can easily know if it's in regards to the version of the app or if it's a different thing.
Okay, and our last question is, why don't I see Bluetooth printer in my phone? I have an iPhone.
Yeah, actually, that is a good catch from there. While so you have tested it with your iPhone. Right now, our Bluetooth printer actually just works with Android phone. All right, so we don't have an option yet with the iPhone for a Bluetooth printer. It's just available for Android phone for now, for Androids.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else to add?
Mhm. Yes, of course. I would like to make sure that this presentation actually leave like a takeaway from all of you guys or to all of you guys. So before I end up, I would like to show you this option. If you can see on the right side of my screen, the learn more button. This is actually very important. It's because if you click on the learn more button, it will give us ideas or knowledge on the different setting. So if you don't know anything about it yet, or if you would like to refresh your memory about the setting that we do have under the Enlite route or on the driver's app, you can simply go here, the learn more. All right. It will give you an overview of what is this all about. So at least before we enable or disable a particular setting, then we have an idea on what it is going to be.
Great, lady. Thank you. Thank you very much for this presentation, and thank you everybody for joining us. Remember, we will be sending you an email with the recording of this webinar. And I don't know, lady, if you have anything else to say.
Yeah, well, I would really like to say thank you everyone for joining us with our fourth webinar. We're really glad to have you today. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.